Thank you very much. I want you to think about what is your favourite street, why you like it, and roughly when it was built. I reckon all over the world, Canada, USA, New Zealand, Middle East, I've had one, maybe two people, I've literally thousands and thousands of people I've asked that question to, one or two people say they like a street because of the traffic flow and the parking. And the other thing, only about 10 people have picked a street that's been built since the 40s. The new ones we build now, no one likes them. They only like the old ones. Now, the reason we like pre-1945 streets is because they were built for us. Not everyone had a car then. So they were built for us. And because they were built for us, we liked them. And because we liked them, we'd stay there for a long time. If it was a living street, we'd hang out with our friends in the street. Yeah? If it was a mixed-use street, if it was a main street, we'd stay there for a long time. And Krista was talking about it before. Got to make someone spend an extra $10, make them stay for an extra 10 minutes. But they'll only stay in places that they like. So you've got to build streets that people, the humans like. It doesn't matter if the machine likes it or not. What does matter is if you like it. And that's what makes people stay a long time. That's what makes people come back. It's what makes them stay an extra day. It wants them come back next month. Bring the husband, bring the wife, bring the kids. We're going to stay for the weekend next time I come here. All those little things. People find the main street, find the middle, and they make those decisions really, really quickly. They don't know they're doing that, but that's what they do. Public space is really, really rare. You've got to look after it. It's so, so valuable. There's only really two things that happen on the street part of that space. Either the machines are moving or the humans are exchanging. Two things that happen. Movement space or exchange space. Right? Now, the reason it's important to get the balance or prioritise this thing right is because this thing, movement, costs you money. When anyone in Logan City starts a car, we're all losing money until they turn it off again. And then we've got to do some of this, exchange, to make the money back again. Now, if you've got this balance wrong, if you've got too much of your public road and street space given over to the movement of the machines and not enough left for us to exchange, say good day, meet people, do stuff, then your city's going to lose money. There's going to be too much money going out and not enough money coming back in. Everyone except the federal government knows that that's wrong. Yeah? You have to have money coming in and not going out. And I'll talk to you about how expensive that is in a minute. Streets are the key part of your town. Streets make up about 60% of your public space, so you have to make sure that you like them. And the problem we've had since the 1940s, which is why no one likes them anymore, we've made our streets, not for us, we've made them little roads. We've made them places for cars, and as a result, we don't like them. So because trade disappeared from main streets because we put too many cars in them, too many parking spaces, too much noise, too much diesel dust, too much yuck, how did the market react to that? Yeah. Dean went and built one where he could close it all in, make it all shiny, blow clean air in there all the time. He did the thing that we used to have, people-based streets. He made an artificial one inside. And the clever little bugger, well, he's not a little bugger, the clever little, you know what he does? He makes you park miles and miles and miles away from the shop door. And he makes you walk and walk and walk. Any traders in here sell stuff? Normally they don't put their hand up. Come on, someone be brave. If I'm trying to buy something from your shop and I'm going past at 30 kilometres an hour, which is way too fast for a main street, by the way, but anyway, I'm going past at 30 kilometres an hour, what can you sell me? Nothing. Not a damn thing. What about if I'm walking past? Where's my wallet then? It's right here. You're back in the game, aren't you? But if people are bunny hopping around town, driving between places, you can't sell anything. Which is why town centres with less parking, their shopkeepers make more money. what you tend to do is, it's a bit of a bun fight. I'm going to Logan Village. It's always really busy. I can't get a park right in the middle. I'll get a park out here on the edge and I'll walk in. This is what we've fallen for. We make too many of these, don't we? Who wants to sit beside there and have a cup of tea and talk to their mate? No one does, yeah? Roads deteriorate the land use. So whatever's next to a road doesn't do as well as whatever's next to a street. Streets are for spending time, roads are for saving time. What about this? Is that a street or a road? It kind of looks a bit like a street because it's got this houses and stuff on the edge, but what is the middle bit telling you to do if you're in a car? Go as fast as you want. I've made it all big and wide. Even if you're hopeless, you're not going to hit anything. You can go as fast as you like. So what happens? Where are the front of the houses in that street? They've all retreated back out of the way. What do you reckon fronts that street? Which part of the house? Garage. Not going to put your kitchen or your lounge room or anything nice out front on that monstrosity, are you? And so if you did, kids want to walk to school, go skateboarding in the street, play cricket, basketball. You morons in Queensland even play football in the street. You can't do it there. One of the most important social spaces in this neighbourhood has been taken away from these people because they made that street into a road. Now, if you're driving, it's fantastic. So if you wanted to go anywhere from this house to somewhere else, how would you do it? Do it in a car. It's obvious that's what they want you to do. So all that beautiful public infrastructure is wasted with this horrible, hot, black stuff that keeps us away, makes us spend the minimum amount of time there, we meet the minimum amount of people, we don't walk. It's not very good for our towns. Thanks. There's a lot of stuff over there about safety. When you're making a street, a main street, as opposed to a road, you've got to think about who you're making your street safe for. It's got to be safe for these people, for these people, for these people. Not necessarily these people. Yeah? Leave your car at home in a street. A street's for us. A street's for walking. Dealing with safety on roads, what we do is say, look, this bit's for the car, no one else can use it. Big fence here so you can't cross the street. This sign, you've seen them all the time. Anything that's not a machine, stay away. You can't do that in a street. A street has to be for everybody. This is actually a legal traffic sign in Queensland, telling the bike to stay in the middle. Take the whole thing. Has anyone ever seen it up on a stick anywhere? What do we make the poor bike do? Get over the edge. Saying this middle bit's for me. If you stick to this little skinny bit at the side, you might live, not too sure. Yeah? We're really mean to those people, aren't we? And yet it's a really, really efficient, useful way to get around. What happens to kids that don't walk to school? That don't get out of the house? I've got to suck my guts in when I talk about this bit. The poor little buggers get fat. Worst sprawl town in Queensland. Everyone have a guess? It's got the most sprawl, least density, which means it's got the less amount of walking, most amount of driving. Have a guess. No, in Queensland. Gladstone, close. They're probably not far off, actually, but it's not them. Rocky. Yeah. So more people drive. There's almost no height and density downtown. 12 dwellings per hectare over the whole thing. It looks like someone's got jam and just spread it evenly, like it all looks the same. A couple of fancy little wooden ones downtown. Now, because of that, it's got the highest proportion of drive, lowest proportion of work, lowest proportion of public transport use, highest level of childhood diabetes. So, we quite often get people ringing up the council, ringing up the state government, said, when I'm driving here, I get caught in traffic and I couldn't get a park. You're accidentally asking them to make it easy for you to drive. But if it's easy for you to drive, it means you're less likely to walk. And your kids are less likely to walk, and what's going to happen? End up like the poor little fat buggers in Rocky, yeah? They're going to get sick. It's not as funny as I'm making it sound. You can't have kids getting overweight when they're only 9, 10, 11 and 12 because they don't walk to school. We have got to relearn to make streets that tell those families, say, look, it's safe. Look, I've made this big, beautiful, wide footpath and it's shaded and there's places to cross the street. Trust me, I will look after your kids. If they don't get that signal, what do? They drive them. Yeah? If it doesn't look safe, they drive them. Notwithstanding, what's statistically the most dangerous way to get your kids to school? In the car with you. Yeah? Nonetheless, it just looks like it's not supposed to be for walking, like that big wide street I put there before, so people don't do it. We have to relearn the art of making streets that people like, that people can't wait to get to either walk or ride or walk to the bus, to use those streets for people spaces. This is how it works. This one runs on money and it makes you fat. This one runs on fat and it saves you money. Yeah? It's a pretty simple equation. Luckily, someone's onto it. This is a book that I wrote here, but there are others very similar from all over the world that are relearning people how to, relearning the trade, how to make streets that people like again. Ones that are shady, ones that have got wide footpaths, they've got skinny traffic lanes, so people drive slowly. So you can ride your bike right down the middle of the road. Yeah? It's what we used to do when we were young, and people, we've gone nearly 2 generations of people that instantly, if I want to go anywhere, Mum, can you drive me? Dad, I want to go to the movies, can you drive me? Of course, my poor little kids, I didn't drive them anywhere. I made them, and we lived at the Sunshine Coast when they were going through that pre-teen thing where they're learning to be independent, and I made them get the bus everywhere, the poor buggers. And one day I just refused to drive my daughter to watch the movies. And she said, oh, but it's going to be dangerous. She was using every excuse. Oh, it's dangerous to walk. Someone's going to pick me off the side of the street. She was playing every card in the thing. I said, right, I'll walk with you then. So she's really throwing a nana now. So she's stamping her little feet. Da, da, da. She goes, Dad, when you grow up and you're too old to drive, I'm not going to drive you anywhere. And of course, then she burst out laughing, so I got away with another. But the advantage of it was when they were old enough to start travelling, went to New York for 5 days, and I never saw them. They were all over that island like rats. They could read a timetable. They got the subway figured out, the bus, the train. Yeah, they went to the football by themselves because they'd learn how to be independent, have adventures in their own neighbourhood, which meant they're easy for them to have adventures in new neighbourhoods. My daughter's only 20. She just got back from a tour all around Asia, her and her boyfriend, just because she's independent. She learnt to have adventures in her own neighbourhood, which made the world her oyster. We've got to make places where our kids can do that. Street-based communities. I often put this photo up so it doesn't look that great in this light. That's a wee street in Richmond. It's not too far from the MCG. And it's a beautiful street. Massive big trees in it that have been there for quite a while, obviously. And the houses are quite old, but they're tiny. They would have been workers' cottages back in the day. Some of the blocks have only got 6, 7, 8 metre frontages. So tiny little houses, beautiful. They still cost $1 million or something stupid. But anyway, I often put this photo up and ones like it. I say, well, do you like this street? And most people say, yeah, I kind of like that street. It's a pretty good street. Unfortunately, street design rules in Queensland, you're not allowed to build this one. Street trees in the wrong place. It's on top of where the sewer pipe and the water pipe would go, so the verge is not wide enough. The house setback's not wide enough. None of those houses have got the minimum parking rate. The lane doesn't meet the minimum width for a new street. We're not allowed to build it because according to our street design rules, it's terrible. Except that it's fantastic. This is what happens. This is what you're missing out on by designing your streets using road design rules, which make it easy to drive a car. They just make it a horrible place for us. We've got to be brave and start building these type of places again. These people come first. This is what makes your town tick. This is what makes your town attractive to you, which will make it attractive to visitors, to investors, for your kids not to move out as soon as they turn 18. All based because if you get these people to walk around your street. Anyone know where that is? These buildings might give you it away a little bit. Oh, Fremantle, people do say Freo, but it's not. Salamanca, yeah. This is Salamanca on a normal day, not market day. It's just a normal street, so it does have a bit of parking, but it's got all this delicious street space. They built right up to a zero lot lane. It's not very dense. And just in behind there's a suburb of Battery Point, which is a nice little dense suburb, so lots of these people just got to walk down the hill. This is their morning walk to work into the city. It's a beautiful little street. It does have some cars in it, but it's not why it's there. It's there for the people, and it's really expensive to lease a shop along here. Try again. I said to you before about how the movement thing costs you. People completely underestimate how much movement does cost you. When I catch the bus, we all know that the bus is subsidised, yeah? So when you pay your ticket, you actually don't pay all the cost. So for every dollar you... Oh, that's a bit confusing. For every dollar you spend on your bus ticket, we've all got to put in another $1.50. New Zealand's a bit better at that than us. What about this? Whenever you have to pay $1 for driving, and it doesn't take long to spend $1 when you're driving, the community's got to throw in another $9.20 to pay for it. Every time someone drives in your community, you're losing money. And you need to get them out of the car as soon as you can and keep them out for as long as you can to pay all this back. Yeah? It's all about the overt invitation. You've got to make it obvious to a member of your community that this is not a road, this is a street. This is for us. A good street should be like a good party. You just want to stay in there as long as you can. You don't want to go home. Yeah? Now, how many streets, not just Logan Village, around Logan City, do you feel like that about? It's a little bit of a... You're definitely not the worst, but you've got a bit of a problem in that, because so many of your streets have been built in that problem era, haven't they? Post-1945, when we forgot how to build them. You've got lots of beaut little roads, you just haven't got enough delicious, little, enticing, sticky, tangled up, yummy streets. Yeah? We've got to relearn how to build them. You're going to be talking about this on your tables, but I need you to start thinking about when you come up with your suggestions, what you're going to prioritise, think about these things. What's going to make you not drive the next time you go and make a short trip? So I might drive to the edge of town. I thought, oh, now I've got to go up there. What's going to make you, I'll just leave the car here and I'll walk up there. You've got to think about the things that are going to make you do that. One of them might be that your friend's doing it, so you'll do it as well. Yeah? Or I really like some shade, so maybe some street trees or some shop awnings. What about this one? Who likes this street? What a ripper. Yeah? Beautiful street. These cars in here, there's got cars on it. There's a place to walk in the shade. A lot of these cars are parked. You can tell how fast you reckon these cars are going. Really slow, yeah? Yeah. Because they don't, it's not a road, it's a street. Well, now who knows what this is? Yes! It's a bus stop. Who cares if the bus is late? Oh, just have a swing. No worries. Yeah? Pedestrians crossings don't have to be boring. This is actually a legal crossing. Yeah? Still got the stripes and they're the right width. All this junk does not take away from that. Why don't you do something interesting, yeah? And plus, it's great fun having a fight with TMR. It's just fun, yeah? This bit the community did themselves. This is the type of stuff that Lucinda was talking about earlier. They got really upset that this was too hard to cross, so they did this themselves in the night. Yeah? And they shortened up that crossing distance, made a bit of room for the bikes. And they said, if it doesn't work, we'll just rub it out. Yeah? But it turned out they did go and make this perfectly. This was one of those I did down, and Lucinda taught me how to do this. I went down to Hobart and did 6 main streets, and I asked all the traders, said, look, whoever does the best trial design, does the best practice run, I'll make the council give you all their street design money. So they're all competing against each other. And they all decided the best way to make their trading better was to take out their own curbside parking. They took out the space for the cars and they put in more space for people, and they turned up. These, you just buy these from a shop. Okay, if you want people to ride the bike, give them a place to put it, not just a pole and just hope that it's there when you get back. Yeah, a nice place that keeps it out of the sun, out of the rain. Who doesn't want to walk in these nice places? Yeah, if you make beautiful places, people will enjoy them. And the very famous one in Paddington, the rainbow crossing. I was doing a walk to school thing for some kids in Darwin, and one of them drew one of these. They want a rainbow crossing at their school. Yeah. Be bold, be adventurous, remember to make places that you like, and don't be so obsessed about making places that your car likes. Thank you for listening to me.